When I was in grad school, I studied, my clarinet teacher, rather, was Peter Simenauer, who played associate principal and E flat clarinet in the New York Philharmonic, where he had been, I think, since the late 1950s. So this is around 1990. I was getting ready for my master's recital. And one day I went to see him in whatever classroom he had picked. And it was a very small building. Manus was uh, at those days up on 85th Street between Amsterdam and Columbus, those of you who know New York City. And he used to walk up from Lincoln Center after a rehearsal, um, or after a rehearsal and before a concert or what have you. And so I went in anyway because I was quite sick. I was like I don't feel very good, Mister Seminar, but I'm here to play if you want me to. And he said, no, 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 no. He goes, you're not feeling well. Just but sit down a second. I want to show you something. And he demonstrated whatever it was he was working on. He says, we're playing this in our next concert. He goes, have you ever done this? I wish I remember what it was. And he said, and I said, no. He goes, you don't. He said, I know you've been working on things, but he says, you're not feeling well, but try this. He says, can you? Because, it's when you play with a clarinet with a cold, I don't have to tell any of you what that's like. All that back pressure. Oy. But I did it because I wanted to see what he was talking about. And it just become not really a lesson so much, but a discussion. And we tried a couple other things that he was working on that he wanted to show me. And well, before you know it, I was playing some of the literature I was working on for my lesson. And I'd been, in effect, sucked into and tricked into having a full blown 1 hour lesson. And something, I felt great when it was over. Well, actually, my cold drugs kind of wore off, had been wearing off, or had worn off. I don't know. I felt awful in some ways, but I felt energized. I felt really good in so many ways. And I told him, I said, that was fun, actually, even though playing the clarinet with a cold is no fun. And he nodded and he said, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've experienced today the real power of music. That's the power. Look what it can do for you. Isn't that beautiful? This is a guy, after all, who had been a full-fledged professional for a good 35 years at that point in his life, and in a major orchestra for most of that time. Something to think about, something not to lose sight of. That really made an impact on me that day. I certainly learned a lot more than just phrasing and clarinet stuff.